Hi, and welcome back to Bounce Forward with me, Tiff LOVES. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land for which I'm recording this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to elders past and present. Sally slid into my DMs recently because I do love running and I'm always chatting to you when I'm out for a run. She said, I love seeing you running on Instagram and chatting to us, Tiff. I always tune in. Don't know how you can talk and run like that. Anyway, my question is, do you ever get scared running alone? I would love to take up running, but my fear is holding me back. This is such a good question, and it's something I think about often. Running is liberating and joyous. It is for me. It is just such a joyous experience. I feel so free, and I love getting out of the house and kind of running away from my children for a bit. But it's also important to be smart and prioritize your safety, especially when running in isolated areas early in the morning or late at night. What people may not know about me is that I have a background in martial arts and self-defense, and I've been doing it for nearly 40 years now. I know a lot of self-defense and feel very confident in my skills, but saying that, I still have some personal safety rules I stick to when running. And my first tip is to know basic self-defense. So my taekwondo schools are Hall's Taekwondo. They offer classes, and my job before TV, before PTing, before owning an online studio, it's been going to schools, teaching self-defense. And you know, I always say we invest in first aid, we invest in knowing how to change a tire. Why don't we learn some basic personal safety, life-saving techniques? Our bodies are made up of hard weapons and soft targets, and just knowing where they are on your body and how to apply a hard weapon to a soft target could save your life. Now, I used to run in the dark. When I was on The Biggest Loser, I'd start in makeup at 5 a.m. That was my call time. And I try and get a run in before 5 a.m., right? Because I go on the beach and it would be deserted, and I try and do a little run before that. I was young and I was dumb, and I would never do that again. I would run with both like earphones in when I was running as well, which is also very, very dangerous. So I see girls now running in the dark with both their AirPods in their ears. And I always think you should only have one in and keep one ear completely free to know your surroundings, all right? And I would never run in the dark. So my first tip is to inform someone. Always let someone know when you're going out for a run. It doesn't matter what time of day. Tell them, I'm going for a run around blah, blah. Tell them your basic running route and your expected return home. I'll be home in 40 minutes. I'll be home in 20 minutes. I'll be home in an hour, okay? Just tell someone. And I always tell my husband, I'm going for a run. I'll be back in 40 minutes. I'm just going to do like 5Ks or whatever. Like I just give him some guidelines because he's always worried about me. I'm always running and I'm always out on my own. Then you want to stay visible. So wear bright, reflective clothing, especially if running early in the morning, late evening, late night. Make yourself visible to drivers and cyclists. And I always do this. I'll wear like a reflective jacket. Choose well-lit and populated routes. Opt for routes that are really well lit. And I don't run in the dark, but I do go for well-populated routes. There's always a lot of pedestrian traffic, a lot of people running. I avoid isolated paths, especially paths with low visibility. Then you want to vary your routes and your times. So don't be predictable. Change your running routes and the times that you go running. Don't be a target by running that same route every single day, which is a bad running program anyway. But you know, you want to vary your training. You also don't want to be too predictable. And then I always carry my phone. I have a little run belt with my phone in it for emergencies. And I'll never leave my phone at home and be like, oh, I'm just going to go without any music or, you know, I'm going to go offline or whatever. I think it's really important to always have a phone on you. There are a lot of fantastic safety apps out there designed for runners that can track your location in real time, send alerts to emergency contacts if you fail to respond within a certain time frame. So have a look at some safety apps. Like the technology now that's around now compared to when I started doing self-defense many, many years, like 20 years ago, is incredible. So take advantage of that. And then you want to be aware of your surroundings. So regularly scan your environment, be mindful of who's around you, avoid distractions, and, really make sure that you are doing things like only having one AirPod in whilst you're running, and you've got one ear listening and always aware and alert of your surroundings. And I still, like, even in well-populated running routes, when I'm running with one AirPod in, I can hear if someone's running up behind me, and I'll always look, I'll always check, I'll always make sure, it's two people, they're coming, there's a couple running behind me, that's okay, it's safe. But I'm always aware of footsteps and proximity of people close to my body. And also the running community, you got to think about helping each other. So if you're coming up behind someone, don't speed up and tiptoe and quietly approach them. Make a bit of noise. Let them know that you're coming up behind them. Let them know, keep a safe distance from other people. Always make sure you're working with each other. You've got an eye on other people as well. If you're thinking someone is perhaps a little close to someone else or something creepy is happening, you alert other people about it. So you have to be aware, not just for yourself, but for others too. And then you have to trust your instincts. If something's feeling off, trust your gut. Don't worry about being polite by like crossing the road or changing your route or stopping or making a phone call or whatever. Don't worry about overreacting ever. It's better to be safe than sorry. So make sure that you are really prepared and, that you are taking your personal safety seriously. And that's also, I think you should always be prepared for emergencies as well and know the basics of first aid. They're just a few tips that I have for just specific run safety. Yeah, I'm all about it. I really am. Thanks so much for listening to Bounce Forward. I love having your company, so please DM me all of your questions at tiffhall_xo and let me know what questions you'd love me to cover. Don't forget to rate and review me on your podcast app. Speak soon. Happy days.